live and in living color from New York, and my star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. It's Sunday Night Live with the late Joey Reynolds Show, the world's first triple cast on radio, TV, and internet. Big J Sorensen, who are Joey's guests tonight?
Thanks, Shotgun Tom Kelly in Los Angeles. Joey's got TV icon, actress, and animal activist Hot Lips Loretta Swit. Also jazz clarinetist, saxophonist, and bandleader Dan Levinson, along with his wife, jazz songbird Molly Ryan. Actor, comedian, and filmmaker Victor Cruz. Plus co-creators of the new off-Broadway musical Temple of the Souls, Lorca Peress and Anika Peress, along with actress Noellia Hernandez. And a tribute to Joey's longtime friend and radio industry icon Claude Hall with his recent writing partner, radio personality Raleigh James.
And now, here's Joey!
Swing, Joey, swing!
Burn, baby.
Show. Joey Reynolds Show.
Isn't this special?
It's hot. Oh, that's Frankie Valli singing too many verses.
Yeah, I know.
Joey Reynolds Show.
Yeah, we
What a
had to
show.
fix that.
You got to move his mouth
Yeah.
along with, like you know, I mean, you're doing those things pre-recorded.
I know.
Got to pretend
What
they're
is
live.
going on here?
This is our producer.
Oh, hi, Jen. Nice to see you, Jen.
Seducer. I think. No, I just wanted to show. This is when you get a warm studio.
Yeah.
She comes. I'm going to wear spandex.
Yeah,
next
really.
week.
It's hot in here.
Look at what she's wearing.
I know. We should come in like that,
is
too.
Is this the official network dress of ABC?
If
Is that
I
what-
dress like that next week, what would you say?
Jay, if you dress like that next week, I would hit on you.
Thanks,
Man,
Jen.
you're just bad. We got Bruce engineering tonight.
Yeah,
right?
we do.
Bruce
Nice.
is a good guy.
Hi,
I like
Bruce.
him. He
How are
usually does John Batchelder. You know, he does a real important show. Bachelor. Yeah.
Bachelor.
And that's something that I'm not. So you know what happened here? I had some Coca-Cola Light. Have you seen this thing here now?
It's the green one. Yeah.
They have
It's life, isn't it?
lights.
Life.
It's light. It's everything's light. There's cigarette light.
Light,
Light
yeah.
smoking.
Uh-huh.
I've had light sex before I left the house.
Really?
Today.
Light?
And even now they have something light opioids.
Really?
You know? Oh no, not really. They're thinking about it.
That'll be coming.
But the Catholic Church has banned. What's that stuff that they don't want in the communion anymore now? When you have a communion that's got weed in it, what's that thing again? No, they don't want the certain thing in there anymore. What is that called again?
I don't know.
You don't
I'm not
know.
Catholic. I don't know.
Why do I ever ask you anything? You never know anything.
I don't know Catholic
Stay
stuff.
off of Jeopardy, will you? Pick a category.
Believe me, I will.
All right. Anyway, I'm on the air with the show every night at 9 o'clock from New York, but it's going to start at 7 next week.
Yeah.
Because we figured that we're going to be on a little earlier. And I'll tell you, in New York, we follow the diet show.
Mm-hmm.
So next week, I'm just going to pig out, and let those guys come after. I mean, what are we doing? We're following shows where people are learning how to lose weight, and how to grow hair, and
Doctor, my spleen hurts. What do I do?
dental work, move to Florida, and all the things that we do. That it's a lifestyle station on the weekends.
Yeah.
And we're the only entertainment thing I think that's available on the radio on Sunday nights, because nobody wants to be here.
No.
We have to pay for this. This is unbelievably expensive to be here. We pay because we think so well of the audience.
We do.
Oh, we do, yeah.
We do.
We give them high quality entertainment.
Yes.
And we just do a little bit of it at a time. I think we had a good 2 minutes last week.
When you add them all up over the course of months,
I don't
it's
know what
great.
we're doing. But we got Loretta Swit is here tonight.
Yes.
And also, just on a serious note, as you know, Claude Hall was the editor of Billboard magazine for a number of years, and so was Raleigh Bornstein, who's Raleigh James. Wonderful friends. We've had so many good people in broadcasting, and the industry's changed enormously because everything's changed. Everything's upside down anyway in this world.
Raleigh knows that.
Well, besides that, everything in the world has been moved over just a notch because of electronics. I think.
Right.
I think now that we have a revolution of using this iPhone has changed the world. Let me finish. And so what we've done with our electronics is we've used it. It's a dichotomy because it's good and bad. You know, what helps us hurts us.
Yeah.
It's separated us and put us together simultaneously. People are multitasking, and we have had to learn how to do everybody else's job. That's what we're doing these days. I went to Staples to have some labels made, and the guy had me type while I was sitting there. I said, "Why don't you just do it?" You know, but nobody wants to have. We don't have jobs, and because we're all doing them. You know, when I first was a kid, I wanted to be a lot of things. I wanted to be a fireman, a priest. I wanted to be a lot. I had about 4 or 5 choices. And now you can be all of them at once because that's the way we are in this world. You become everything because you have to go online and do it all yourself.
Right.
And then tomorrow, you know, that miserable Amazon.com, which is, you know, I mean, they're not even buying ads to advertise
They don't have to.
their Bonanza Day when they're going to take everything out of the warehouse and force it on the public. I went over to Kmart today.
Yeah.
Now, Kmart is
You were
owned
the
by
one.
Sears, and Kmart used to be the premier store. It used to be Kresge's and Woolworth's. Those were the 2 stores. The Woolworth family was very wealthy. We'd go there for air conditioning and a Coke. You know, I mean, it was not this kind.
Not that kind.
We have a different kind of a society now where people look at all of these items we have, and yet we're out of everything. How can we have so much and be out of everything? And even Walgreens, which bought Dwayne Reed in New York City, it's a brand. They bought too much. They ate too much. They have too much property, too many stores, and then Walgreens came in and made a hardware and a department store out of them and a grocery store. So now you got everybody's in everybody else's business. That's what's changed.
True.
So on that note, since we are on radio, television, internet, we're in everybody's business too.
Yeah.
I want to mention that we're not a gossip show, although I encroach on it once in a while. And I try to present some things to the public that Joel Osteen won't say, and things that are relevant to the society. We're in a change, but no one really has the libretto, the opera. They don't tell you what's happening or how it's going. We don't have Casey Kasem. We don't have the libretto anymore. We don't have TV Guide. You don't have anybody directing the traffic except for whatever little there is available that's honest. And right now it's so filled with trash. And the radio and television garbage can that continues to present this information that's bogus. You know, let's face it. The reason why North Korea is pissed off is because they don't have Samsung. That's the reason they're mad.
The South got them.
They have to create. They had to create a war so that they put people to work because the people in that country were so miserable. And they're looking at that little dwarf that runs the country. We all hate him. You know, I mean, what's his name again? Anybody remember his name?
Kim,
We're going to have a contest. You know, I shouldn't ask you.
Kid.
Stay off.
Yeah,
Jeopardy.
I know.
All right. Now, you know what we're going to do? We're going to have a contest. We're going to give a week in North Korea.
It'll be the 5th caller.
First prize, 2 weeks in North Korea.
Right.
You know the joke.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, Raleigh James is on the phone. We should talk a little bit
Yes, let's
seriously
do that.
about Claude Hall, who's a wonderful friend, and Raleigh still works with him. Matter of fact, until this past week. So, Raleigh, are you there?
I am here. And, Joey, you are not the only entertainment on Sunday night on the radio. You are the only entertainment on the radio anymore. So thank you for doing this show.
Well, that's a very wonderful compliment, and coming from someone who's a radio expert, as you are. And I know that you and Claude got very close in the later years. I was close with him early on when he started the conventions, you know, at the Plaza Hotel in New York. Did you know that? He began those things, he and Lee Zito? Did you know that? I don't know if you knew that or not.
Well, he actually renewed those things. What had happened is after the second annual Todd Storrs Disc Jockey Convention, which was so notorious in 1959, no one would touch these conventions.
Because of payola.
Well, ultimately, yes. It took an awful lot of convincing on Claude's part and Zito's part to say, hey, we're going to do this again, because for 9 years, no one would go near it.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Claude had, at that convention, I went to it, it was Dr. Wayne Dyer and also Geraldo Rivera. They were just starting.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it was very interesting. You know, you've been doing talk shows for a long time. And I mean, you're an entertainer and also a very good writer, I might add. You are, and a historian, which you are, especially with the music. My God, I would challenge you with any. I know nothing. I was a disc jockey, and I know nothing about what you know about music.
She does. Oh yeah.
And I want to put Jay out here because he was a guy. No, Raleigh, let's go here for a minute. Jay was a disc jockey at CBS FM playing the oldies, right?
Yeah.
Which I know we all love and grew up with. Now, Jay, do you know what beach music is?
Oh, yeah. It's North Carolina and that region, shag music. Yes, I do know what that is.
She is the first person I ever heard that from. I
Really?
never knew what it was. I
Oh,
thought it was
yeah.
something you did with Brian Wilson.
Yeah, that's something that's different than what goes on in California. That's a whole different aspect of things. Shag music is basically R&B music and usually fairly upbeat so you can dance to it.
Is that right, Raleigh?
The shag is a slowed down version of the jitterbug
Yes, yeah.
that the white kids saw in the galleries when they'd watch the black dancers below, and they said, "Oh, this is how you do it."
Right. Yeah.
Now, what's interesting is shag is a different euphemism in Great Britain. It's the common word for making love.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was that I was in a record store, John Swain's Record Room in Greensboro, North Carolina. And in comes this Brit, and he sees an album on the wall called Shagger's Delight. And his eyes go up, and he says, I said, well, shagging's big here. And he said, well, it's very big in England. I said, well, this is the season for the contests. And the guy almost falls over.
You're right.
And
The shag contest.
how exactly does that work? And I said, well, the couples take a number, and they get on stage. And long about then, I realized that we were not possibly talking about the same thing because this man was clutching his heart.
Yes.
And we worked through it, and he finally realized that we had a different connotation in the South.
Now, what about Claude Hall here? Let's talk about him for a second.
The thing about Claude, and it's interesting because I've gotten literally 100 emails in the last 48 hours on this, and the theme is all the same. All of us, no matter what stage of radio we were in, when Claude came on the scene, it was better than Christmas when your name was in Claude Hall's column.
I felt the same way. Yeah.
There's not one of us who didn't. And what the difference was, and Box Jocks goes way back. It goes to before Jerry Wexler worked at Billboard. And, of course, before Claude did it, it was a woman by the name of June Bundy. And it was your standard movement column, your promotion column of who went where and did what to whom. But what Claude did, and it seems so simple today, but at the time, was he humanized it. He had never been in radio himself, but he inherently loved it. And what he did was he made this personal. This was a time when there was no email, and phone calls were $5 for the first 3 minutes, so keeping up with everybody was a Herculean task. And here's Claude basically once a week uniting us in print. And when we got to be, not even the star of the column, but just a mention in the last paragraph, we were walking on water in the clouds for a week.
She's right.
He made me what I am today.
And that's interesting.
Yeah, because he pulled out all of my rebelliousness and accented it and made me larger than life. Same with Imus.
Yeah.
Imus was worked on the railroad in Sacramento, I think it was.
Yeah.
So we're all very grateful for him for our careers and our great love for him. And he passed away, if those who don't understand that, the other day. On my birthday, too.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Struck me. I'll tell you something, the wonderful thing about Claude is that we all got sober together. And that's
probably the best thing of all.
That's the blessing,
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
And I love you, Raleigh. You're so great, and you're keeping the Vox Jocks going, right?
Yeah, the Vox Jocks.
Well, we'll see what happens with that. When I first took it over, I thought I was just going to be uploading Claude's column. And I don't know if you know this, but I also own a couple radio stations here, and, I still have Mediatrix, which actually does have clients. So this takes up an enormous amount of time, and I'm hoping to convince someone like Joey Reynolds to take it over. But we'll figure that out eventually. I want to tell you, Joey, I got a heck of a scare when Jennifer, your wonderful producer, called me. The caller ID says capital cities.
It still does? Wow, that's like 8 owners ago.
Yeah, right. Am I talking to the dead? Is this Joey being on WKBW?
Oh, that's funny. That was a nightmare for Joey just now, too. You realize that?
Yeah, absolutely. I looked at that and I said, no, what is this going to be like?
Well,
it's been a pleasure.
It's nice that we had and still have champions of radio.
Yeah,
which is
like you,
yeah,
Raleigh.
Yeah,
You're great.
And that's great.
Great.
Thank you so much.
And Cap Cities is where I nailed my shoes to the door and said, "Fill these, you a-holes." When I got fired.
You got fired.
And they never did.
No, they
That's
never
the
could.
Absolute truth. They never could.
Yeah.
And sadly, we talk about radio back in the day, but even in the Todd Stores days, they tried to find a way to automate it. They tried to make us superfluous because who wants to hang their entire fortune on a bunch of nutso disc jockeys?
Yeah, really. Who would do that?
I get that, but today, literally, and I wasn't blowing smoke when I said you're the only entertaining thing on the radio. You opened with North Korea and all of this. Well, before that was the 7 minutes of commercials you get on every damn radio station. And, I'm convinced. I'm absolutely convinced that the government doesn't need to pay for all the research they're doing. They can share state secrets without anyone ever hearing them by being the third commercial in.
That's funny, Raleigh.
That's
great. Good. Thank you so much.
All right. So rest in peace, my good friend Claude Hall, my lovely, lovely friend.
Raleigh James, thanks so much.
And Raleigh, too. You're great. Just stay healthy, Raleigh. We need you.
You too, Joey. That's an order.
Okay. We'll be right back. Joey Reynolds.
Honey, you turn me on the radio.
And the Late Joey Reynolds Show is brought to you by TideInMedia.com. Tide In Media takes the most successful brands, e-tailers, and millennialpreneurs to the next level. Visit TideInMedia.com. That's TideIn, TiEDIN Media.com.
This is Sunday Night Live with the Late Joey Reynolds Show.
Today, I will help save a life.
Today, I will make a positive impact on my community.
Today, I will network for a cure.
Today, I will become a go-giver. Together, we will make a difference.
Our mission at pinktide.org is to bring the business community together to support organizations that have a direct impact on our community. Join a growing movement that will contribute $100,000 to local charities each quarter. Visit pinktide.org and join us in making a difference.
Life in Plainview is about to get sweeter. Plainview Chocolate Works will be opening their sweet doors in July, offering premium Belgian chocolate delights. Get a mouth-watering candy selection to satisfy the most sophisticated sweet tooth. Oh, this is sweet. Have the ultimate party experience inside a hands-on chocolate studio. Plus, get custom-branded chocolate gifts that will take your personalized party favors and corporate gifts to a sweet new dimension. Plainview Chocolate Works creates one-of-a-kind 3D chocolate sculptures, customized gift baskets for any profession or occasion, dipped to perfection platters, handmade truffles, and more. You'll love giving back to the Long Island community with chocolate charity, as 5% of your Plainview Chocolate Works purchases are donated back to pinktie.org. Their efforts support charitable organizations in the local community. Learn how your purchases are making a difference, and real soon, details about the Plainview Chocolate Works grand opening date and festivities. Call 516-252-3855 or visit pinktie.org/chocolateworks.
Transportation for the Late Joey Reynolds Show provided by Matt Silver's Ultimate Class and Limousine Transportation Worldwide. 516-935-4444. 516-935-4444.
You found a true variety show with Sunday Night Live, audio and video. It's the Late Joey Reynolds Show.
And I understand that Loretta Swit was fantastic last night at Birdland.
Oh.
Myra Channon wrote me a note, and she said she was really great. I didn't even know she was at Birdland.
Were you
I would
there?
have.
No.
Were you at Birdland last night?
About?
I don't know.
Okay, we'll start
Is there
over.
another Loretta
Okay, no,
Swit?
I don't
Who are
know.
you?
I said I had no idea.
I didn't know either.
I had no idea that you were
Okay,
performing
we're
anywhere.
off to a flying stop.
And then if you no, it's okay. It's all right. So and if you were there, what would you do?
Sing probably.
There you go.
Yeah.
You could.
In a Birdland.
And you
I
weren't there
guess.
last night?
I was not. I'm sorry to say.
There must have been a
I was
look-alike. Somebody doing your routine.
Well,
Wow.
You know,
Well, it's okay.
she'll get over it.
You know, I worked at 20th Century Fox, and when I was there as creative director for a long time, we had a park where they shot MASH. It was the Malibu Park. At that time, it was owned by 20th Century Fox. It was our shooting.
Fox Ranch.
Yeah,
They
it was
called
our
the
ranch.
Fox Ranch.
And Loretta was always there, of course, obviously for the show, and Alan Alda and the rest of the gang. But it was turned into a national park, and we had 20th Century Fox donated the park to the state of California, and we were relieving ourselves of a lot of things in those days. Earlier on, we donated forcefully what they call Century City, because there was a lot of money lost on Hello Dolly, which a lot of people don't talk about. Anyway, Loretta's always been a very, very prominent player, and I think the secret part of her life, being a wonderful artist and also an animal lover, animal activist too. I wanted to mention this because I was thinking, I used to live in Palos Verdes, where we own marine land, which was the other thing. At that time, Dennis Stanfield was the chairman of 20th Century Fox, and he believed in real estate. And it wasn't so much making movies or making television shows, although MASH was a huge hit, and then, of course, Aaron Spelling with Love Boat and all those other things. But, he had this idea that we should own real estate because that's where the money was. And he bought a bunch of television stations and had the Century City turned into a real estate bonanza, you know. Now, what I'm getting at is marine land, which was at the tip of Palos Verdes, right there on the way to Long Beach, if you are familiar with that territory. I said, I think they turned that in, they closed it, Nothing he bought made any money.
Oh, that's not good.
So they turned that into a sushi. They turned it into a sushi bar.
Wow.
I mean, that thing was gone. But where were you living at the time?
I have no idea. When is this? When was that?
77, 1978, around that time.
I was obviously in California. I was shooting the series.
Yeah. But where were you living in Beverly Hills? Did you live there?
No. At that point, I lived on St. Ives Drive, lovely little French cottage house. St. Ives Drive. It was off Sunset Boulevard, up in the hills they called Birdland.
Yeah.
You had thrush and warbler and blue jay, and so the taxi drivers called it Birdland, like, Bel Air. It's not on the map, but, that was so I lived in, maybe that's where you got the idea.
Probably.
Birdland.
Did you have animals at that time? Were you collecting?
Oh, yes. I had a herd of dog.
What kind?
A mix. I had peaks mostly, but peekapoos as well.
Do you have anything in particular that we should all know about that's really interesting about dogs that doesn't get said? I mean, there's
I don't think
people
so.
who are animal.
I think most people who have animals know that they have a network and an instinct, and they talk.
Right.
You can communicate in a way. I have a Yorkshire Terrier right now, and 2 cats, and the Yorkie talks. I mean, she comes to the kitchen and grunts that she's hungry. Is you hungry? I mean, we talk. And when she's had enough food, she'll come for a late night snack, which is not the best thing to do for anybody. And so I'll give her a little piece of chicken, and it's not enough. No, that's enough. Go to bed. And she literally turns around and goes to bed.
Wow.
I mean, it's not the language so much as the sound. She hears that, I'm leaving. I'll be right back, I say to her, regardless of how many hours it's going to be. But she understands that. I tell her to watch the house, and she goes off and she has a little nap. And I mean, so animals have their own kind of networking that you can click into, you can, hook into. But I think that's really not news. I think most animal people, people who have pet companions, know this.
So they were social networking long before we were.
Yes, actually, they sure were.
And they communicate without the electronics.
Yes.
I have.
So you've just made them a lot smarter than we are. I hope you understand that.
Warren Eckstein, right?
Who?
You know Warren Eckstein? He does a pet show. I don't know if you know him or not. I worked with him
I don't.
years ago. He lives in L.A. And he's very interesting about pets. He tells us to talk to them and do all the various things that we would do like children. And he has a great awareness. And then there's the other guy, Caesar. Who does, he's I've had him on the show too, not here, but years ago. And he's another guy. You don't take any crap from the dog. You got to tell the dog who's in charge. That's his deal. It's interesting how we all have this this style. I have a dog that orders from the menu. And also I think I wanted to mention just briefly that Doris Day, who was one of my great friends, years ago, she was such a wonderful person to adopt.
Every
pets.
dog has his day. That was her first book about animals.
She was great.
And she was actually spearheaded the movement years and years ago, have showing, the relationship between the human animal and the animal, and she did a lot for us. She's still actually, our model. In a way. Yeah.
And we had recently in New York City, they were trying to get rid of the horses in Central Park.
And that's a while ago, but no, we that stopped as soon as it began. It was stopped.
Yeah. Well, you know why? Because I think the mayor had some relationship with somebody who wanted the building they were in, and because he helped to finance his elections, Russell Simmons, and he wanted to have that building on 34th Street, I believe.
I'm not sure.
So they were going to push the horses out of there. I mean, everybody always has a money angle,
an agenda.
And animal lovers love the animals. We don't care about the money part.
Actually, behind every horror, there's always a buck that somebody's making. And that goes for human animals too, but I mean mostly for animals who are way down on the totem pole when you're collecting money, when you're funding something.
Yeah.
And that's just how it is. See, unhappily, we're still killing each other.
Yeah.
So for us to pull back and say, no, you mustn't hurt that animal, or you must, think about this animal. So it's a tough hoe, always.
On the other scale, are you a vegetarian?
I'm a vegan.
Are you? Good.
Do you know the
Casey
difference?
was that
I'm
too.
not sure people know that.
No.
A vegan doesn't do anything or related to animals. We don't wear skins. We don't, and we don't do dairy, which is an animal product. And
maybe eggs. No eggs.
No, that's dairy.
Yeah. Is that considered dairy? It's in the dairy case, but chicken is not.
It's a dairy product. Yeah. And well, it's an offspring of, it's taking advantage of something from an animal that we don't believe in doing. Animals, Farm Sanctuary, which is a wonderful organization that one of the ones in my book that I list.
Which is Sweetheart. It's called Sweetheart.
Sweetheart, yeah.
And you're a lovely lady and very beautiful.
Thank you so much.
And also, you look great. I mean, you look like you did
supposed to.
No, in 1977,
I mean,
you look the same.
It's always, I love that when people say, God, you look so great. Well, of course. I mean, I spend a lot of time trying to present the best me I have.
But you look the same like from years ago. I mean, you're one of those people that's a natural.
I look quite a bit different, but thank you anyway.
It's probably the food.
That's cute, but not really a joke. Yes, of course, we are what we eat.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I do believe in that. I mean, originally, I was very taken with the health aspect. It just dovetailed into my beliefs. Animals are my friends. They're not my food.
Right.
But essentially, I do believe in a plant-based diet being the healthiest thing I can do for my body.
And I also,
That's me.
in conjunction with that, I want to live. I choose to live so that I watch my food. But the other thing is, I mentioned briefly when you were talking that Casey Kasem, who was a good friend, he was a wonderful vegan. And he said, Joey, there's 5,000 things you can order off the menu. You don't have to be eating animals.
Exactly.
And I took the Bikram yoga for 18 years, taking the Bikram yoga, which helped it helped everything, So now when I have something happen, which is evident when you get older, it heals a lot differently. So it's all part of the metaphysical being that we are, and I like putting that on the air because I think it's important. It's not so much that that someone is celebrated. You're celebrated for your work, but you're not known by the work that you really are doing. That's wonderful, which is this. I mean, you're not primarily known for it, but maybe these days you will be.
But I think getting the book out is going to make a little bit of a difference.
And these watercolorings are
this is what they call a coffee table book.
Really so nice.
Now, who's the gentleman with you here?
This is my publisher, Mies Hora.
Hi, Meets.
Say hello, be nice, behave yourself.
Oh no! I'm listen. They put paper under me. I'm trained.
a lot of people don't know that, or didn't know until recently, that Loretta was a world-class watercolorist and self-taught.
I don't know about the world-class part. I mean, that's Mies is a fan.
I discovered this. I met her early last year, and I saw some of her work, and I said, "Boy, have you ever have you ever, she's done some gallery shows and things over the years, but I said, you really should do a book. And so she invited me over and we looked at a lot of her work and I said, this is absolutely going to be a wonderful
This
book.
is a book. He said, this is a book.
Well, my friend Robert Fleischer is probably one of the best watercolor artists in the country, and he speaks of you. So your work is well known in that area.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
There you go.
Well, I'm
there you go.
impressed.
Yeah.
I'm untrained. Let's begin with that. I've been doing this since I'm 6.
Yeah.
And when I was 6, the reason I know that's the age is because I won an art prize. And my mother was, flabbergasted. My 6-year-old child has won this art prize. But I've either been sketching or doodling or something, and just been something that I did. And now, of course, like the quote from Angela Lansbury on the book, she says, how wonderful that you are able to take your talent and do good with it. And that, to me, is what that's all about.
She's
the
lovely.
pleasure that I get from...
I want to interrupt you for a second. There's a woman who, when she was with Murder, She Wrote, she helped other artists
Ange,
who hadn't worked in years.
One of the best ladies
She
in
was so
the
kind
world.
with everybody. And she also moved into a building where, that was condemned at one time. The neighborhood was, not her building. But she moved into that housing where she was
To
a regular
save the,
person, just a lovely person.
She's the best,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And
You're preaching to the choir.
I didn't know that. I didn't know you were friends. I
Adore
didn't know
her.
that.
Just
Yeah.
absolutely adore her. Known her since MAME days. She was doing MAME on Broadway. I
Right.
was rehearsing the National Company.
Wow.
And the director, Gene Sachs, told us all to go anytime we wanted to go to the Winter Garden and watch the show. For the block. The blocking essentially stays the same. The music, of course, and the dancing. So we would occasionally go, and I was doing Agnes Gooch, and Jane Cannell was doing Agnes Gooch, and she was wonderful. But I would go there with the idea that I'd be watching Gooch and the blocking.
Yeah.
And invariably would get lost in Angie's performance because she was stunning. She was amazing. And it was like taking a master class watching her I was a kid, So I wrote her a fan letter, my first one, and I've only written 2 in my life. The other one was to Robert Mitchum. Okay, so the first fan letter is to Angie, and I went on and on about what happened, that I was always drifting off from Jane because she was riveting and amazing. Also, I saw it so often. Now, speaking as the artist, you appreciate coming back after a weekend off. So Sunday night and Monday you've not performed. So Tuesday you've got to gear up again.
Right.
Wednesday you've done 2 shows. Friday you've done this week's work. Saturday matinee. And I watched this woman give the same energy, and I mean, she was incredible, because MAME, which I eventually got to do, is a mammoth Hamlet part. I mean, you have 15, 16 fast changes, you're dancing, you're singing, you're acting. It's a mammoth job. And she was remarkable. So I wrote all this in the letter. She was my idol.
Well,
Years later, I'm at a CBS one of those get-together with all the CBS artists, and there was Angela, where I was able to run up to her, and by then she knew me. I was doing MASH, and I said, it's such a pleasure to meet you finally, because, and you won't remember this, and you didn't know me, but years ago she said, I have that letter.
Oh, that's great.
Wow.
That's great.
Well, I mean, I was... My jaw dropped to Australia, but that's the kind of it touched her.
She wore
and
furs
it meant,
in that show.
It touched her, and it meant something
Yeah,
to
that's
her.
beautiful.
Doris Day also has worn furs in movies.
Oh yeah. Well, that's just.
I don't, by the way, but that's a choice. That's a personal choice.
Well, you're great. You're great. And I so thank you for being here tonight. And I know that people are going to go to Birdland expecting to see you tonight. Loretta Swit, sweetheart.
Birdland.
Don't forget. And thanks for being here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for putting the work out.
The book can be purchased at sweetheart.com.
Sweetheart. It's
and do get it off the website as opposed to any other.
Okay,
yeah.
there you go.
See, Amazon's big sale tomorrow.
Well, because all of the proceeds will then get to where it belongs, the animals.
Thank you.
Oh, we're always needy.
That's great.
All right, we're going to take a break here, and thank you, Loretta
Okay.
Swit.
Loretta.
You've just been
Thank
so
you.
wonderful.
Okay.
It's great.
And the
Great
late
night.
Joey Reynolds Show brought to you by Leap EDU. Become part of the high-paying, fast-paced New York real estate industry. Call 844-303-5327 or go to leapedu.com.
This is Sunday Night Live.
Thank you so
with
much.
the late Joey Reynolds Show.
Social media is the marketing sensation. Every day, there are over 1 billion likes and tweets around the world. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and others have taken over as the #1 form of communication. Take advantage of this phenomenon. Talk with TideInMedia.com about building a vital social media strategy. Go to TideInMedia.com. That's TideInMedia.com. They'll help guide your business through social media, web development, and marketing. Building your brand and taking your business to the next level is what Tide In Media does. Many of Tide In Media's clients have been featured on Fox News, People Magazine, MTV, and other top-tier networks. The most successful businesses are leveraging the internet. Follow in the footsteps of the late Joey Reynolds Show and visit TideInMedia.com. That's TideInMedia.com. Or call Tide In Media today at 844-373-8433. That's 844-373-8433. And tell them the late Joey Reynolds Show sent you.
Are you in debt? Can't make your monthly bills? Are you making your payments but the balances aren't going down? Bankruptcy might be right for you. Don't be fooled by debt consolidation. The process is expensive and can take as long as 5 years. Debt consolidation is a business. Bankruptcy is the law. Go now to nybankruptcy.com. Schedule a free consultation with a duly licensed attorney. Don't put your financial life on freeze for 5 years. Start rebuilding your credit in as little as 90 days. Debt settlement? Most people can't settle their debt because they don't have the money. Bankruptcy is your fresh start. Go now to nybankruptcy.com to schedule your free consultation. Your financial life will be reviewed by a duly licensed New York attorney. Each case must be reviewed and there are rules that apply. Not all debt is dischargeable. Not all people will qualify. Bankruptcy is not the end. Bankruptcy is the beginning. Visit nybankruptcy.com today.
You can listen on air or online. Plus, watch the late Joey Reynolds Show right now with streaming video at SundayNightLive.com.
This is going to be here today, you know.
The blue horizon waits a beautiful day. Goodbye to things that bore me. Joy is waiting for me.
I see you. What am I singing?
Really? Why are you singing?
Because I love that song.
No, it's a great
Beyond
song.
the Blue Horizon. I used to end my show with it.
I know, Lou Christie's version.
Yeah, I know. Well,
and this version is
this
by
is
a very
this-
talented
Well, I love
lady.
the song. The song is great. Molly Ryan is
Yeah.
here. you
Hi,
know.
Molly.
Hi, Molly. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
We never met.
No.
No, you. But the guy next to you, Dan Levinson, and he was on my show a dozen years ago when he was a young man. And we were on the same birthdays too, weren't we?
Yeah, that's
Now,
right.
are you a clarinet player?
Yep.
You didn't play the clarinet when you were here last time either.
No, I didn't.
12 years ago, you didn't play the clarinet. You're still not. You're
No,
still.
it's-
You're
it's-
still.
it's
Why
too
are
much-
you not bringing that
Too
instrument?
much to carry around.
Oh, come on! You know, I had a
Not this
bass player
big, come
here.
on.
We've had guys with accordions. You know,
It's too heavy. I need to get a truck to bring it in.
I hate
here.
accordions.
I won't comment on
I shouldn't say that because there's too many polka fans. And you know, I forgot to mention Loretta Swit. You know, she had an award in Poland. You know that, and the president was just recently there. And I'm from Buffalo, which has more Polacks than Warsaw. Is that the word that we use? I don't think you're supposed to call them that. I don't know.
You can call anything you
Well,
want,
I lived.
Joey.
I lived in Buffalo. That's what we did.
That's what
I mean,
you
know,
called
I mean,
them.
come on.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm in trouble again.
By the way,
Always.
both of us, our ancestors, came from
Poland.
Yeah, and my part of me is from
You're in
Poland
good
too.
company.
So you know what?
Well, Dzień dobry, mini pies.
Oh, not that good a company.
Oh, okay. Well, let's break out the pierogi. You know,
We
I
like
I used to
Joey's.
do a polka show. I mean, I was running the thing for Stan Stashishinsky. He had a
Wow.
polka beehive. He had one. We had an album on a turntable. You know, when you play records on in those days.
seem to remember
And the guy was his
record
engineer,
players.
and he said to me, he said, "Segway." I said, "Segway what? It's one album. You're going to go from one cut to the other. There's got to be." And so I spun it. I spin the thing around, you know, and played it backwards, and Paul McCartney was dead. So, you know, I mean, that's what happens. I was just thinking about the president visiting Poland, which was the home of the Pope, you know, John Paul. And when I took my daughter to the Vatican a few years back, just before she got married, we went to Italy, which I'm Italian. And I brought her to see the Vatican. She was raised in a Protestant church, and I was raised in a Catholic church. So I'm thrilled by the Vatican, and the Pope John Paul was fresh flowers still in the catacombs. They're still putting fresh flowers. He was so loved. And I said, "Look at this." And she said, "Yeah, it's a nice museum." I mean, you know, that's what a Protestant thinks of the Vatican.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's interesting though. Do you have Polish heritage though?
We do.
Yeah.
No polkas with that clarinet.
Well, if you know,
It's a
everybody,
For the right amount.
Everybody has a price.
So you guys are going to be playing. I guess in a concert in New York, open air. Is that what you're doing?
Well, we have a lot of stuff coming up. A couple of things I want to mention. Tomorrow night in Morristown, New Jersey, we're going to be at the Bigfoot Theater at the Morris Museum.
I'm going to be at the beach with the governor.
I'd love to be
Which
at the beach.
governor?
Maybe I can cancel the concert.
That's right.
Which governor?
You're not doing anything in L.A. though, are you?
Not well. In November we will be.
You know, we're very
Talk about
popular. This show is very popular in Los
huge.
Angeles. Yeah.
Well, best thing to do is go to our websites because we'll have them updated at mollyryan.com and danlevinson.com.
Well, that's good. So you guys are working as a team, husband and wife, and also
Often.
playing together.
Most of the time.
You get along together? Is it or
Never.
is this just a fake
Really?
fake news?
That's a loaded question.
Yeah, I know. But you had to be loaded to do the show.
I would recommend it highly for any guest.
Yes. So where else are you going to be? You may as well get
We
your
got,
plugs
yeah,
in
so
here.
we got Bigfoot Theater tomorrow night, the Bigfoot Theater Morris
Yeah, you said
Museum.
that
That's
already.
Dan
Where else?
Levinson's Midsummer Night's Jazz Party. It's an annual event that I do there. And then Saturday, this coming Saturday, we're at Kingsborough Community College. That's a
Free concert.
Yeah, that's a free concert put on by Onstage at Kingsborough. It's a hot summer night series, and I'm going to have my Gotham Sophisticats there.
Oh, cool.
It's a free concert.
Who are they? Who are these guys? Is it a little band you put together?
Yeah, it's a 7-piece band. Jason Prover on trumpet, and Harvey Tibbs.
Oh,
on
don't go through all
trombone.
those names. We'll be here all night.
All right, but yeah, and that starts at 8 p.m. and it's all theme. The theme is Hollywood films, hot jazz from Hollywood films. I'm calling it "Swinging on a Star Under the Stars."
You know, I worked at 20th Century Fox. We mentioned it earlier to Loretta. She knows that. And there was a time when I think John Williams was the conductor for the Pops Orchestra for Boston, and he was in Berkshire's conducting the orchestra with a Hollywood concert, and he showed the cartoon of Tom and Jerry and did the music of it with Tom and Jerry and Fred Astaire, I think it was.
Yeah.
Or was it
Yeah.
Gene Kelly?
Gene Kelly.
Yeah. And he did the score of it, you know, while that thing played on the screen.
amazing.
Yeah,
Hollywood
I
is
think that's
great.
Anchors Away, right?
Great place to play with music. I met Quincy Jones years ago before he was doing scores. We were out drinking. You know, I mean, he was recording Dinah Washington back in those
Back
days.
then,
out of Chicago.
yeah, wow.
So the Hollywood theme is great. Do you have any favorites? Any of the music from Hollywood that you
Well,
really?
yeah, I mean, you mentioned Fred Astaire and Jane Kelly, two of my favorites. When I was a kid, I wanted to be both of them. And
Do you
certainly-
dance?
I used to tap dance.
Yeah.
It's kept secret. We don't talk about that.
So does Tony Danza. He tap dances.
Do you know that Dan is a member of Vince Giordano's Nighthawks, too?
Oh, that's where I know you from.
That's
okay.
right,
now-
right, yeah.
You know, we used to come and see you guys
We
with
love
Soupy
him.
Sales.
24 years. Yeah, Soupy Sales.
And every week you would see
And-
Mickey
and
Freeman would
Mickey
come
Freeman was
do his
there.
bad jokes, which I still do. And also we had, I think in that times, there were a lot of people.
Well, Mel
loved-
Brooks,
Mel Brooks.
still comes in to see us there when he's in town. And he's a big fan.
But
of the
Woody Allen
Nighthawks.
never played with you.
We played with him actually.
Have you?
Various members of the band, on his film.
But he's quiet when he plays. He doesn't do any material, doesn't
right.
joke
No,
or
he
anything.
Just sits there and plays.
Just sits there and plays. Well, thank you
thank
for being
you so
here.
much.
Thank you,
It's wonderful
Joey.
to have
Good
you.
luck
If
with
I
your
could,
show.
I've got a show running all through August at 59 East 59th Street Theaters with the Anderson twins. It's called Songbook Summit, and each week we're featuring songs from a different composer.
Oh, cool.
Well, are you going to come and see us again with the clarinet?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll
Do that.
have Vince will come here and we'll
Yep.
bring the whole band.
Yep.
We're going to be in
Yep.
a new space anyway, I think. You know, we've had the 17th space that we were playing here.
Yeah.
Next week we start at 7.
Start at 7
in New
p.m.
York.
Oh, really?
In New York.
New York
LA,
time.
we're still on at 6.
Okay.
So somebody bringing a cake in here. What's this
What
thing?
is this?
Belated happy birthday to Joey Reynolds.
Thank you very much.
Oh,
Is
happy
this a
birthday,
gift
Joey.
from the station?
Yeah, right. No, we couldn't find enough candles.
Yeah, I know. The last time one will be
They don't-
sufficient.
They don't make them.
That's mean.
Thank you so much. This is great.
It was mean, wasn't it?
So you guys are.
Let's sing. Come on. Happy birthday
to you.
Oh, how corny.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Joey. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, we let the real singers sing this time. Excellent.
Look, an accordion.
Nice.
That's your favorite thing.
You know, I love the story about the accordion. I used to tell Les Paul about this all the time. You know, the accordion was a very favored polka instrument, as you know, and Italians too, with Dick Contino. If you go back to those days.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened? You want me to cut this cake? Is that what they're waiting for?
No, we want to bring in our next guest.
Who we got?
Well, the people here we have Lorca Peress. Did I get the name correct?
Yes, you
I
did.
did.
Lorca
We have
Peress, thank you.
Anika Paris.
Anika.
Well, I was close. Did I say Anika? I
That's from
said
Star
Anika,
Wars, that name.
And Noellia Hernandez.
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 So what are you guys? The Temples of Souls? Is that it?
Temple of Souls. The Temple of Souls is,
The
is
Soulful
an
Temple.
off-Broadway show.
Yeah. Temple of the Souls. It's a new musical.
Here's some music from it, real quick. That's great. That's nice.
I don't know. I did so little. I mean,
Well,
how could you tell anything from that?
I could tell.
It's like those trailers.
It's
in
classy.
theaters. You know what they do in theaters now? I mean, we all know this. They mesmerize you with this editing, and you haven't seen anything. You know, in the old days, they would tell you what you were going to see. They'd give you a little. Speaking of Hollywood, they would give you a little banner on the screen about what the movie was about, and the announcer would say something about the film. Now all they do is make these quick cuts and cartoons. You know, AMC is going to merge with Marvel Comics, I think. You know, I mean, the theaters are all about cartoons now.
It's amazing.
It is. I mean, it's all about these Wonder Woman and Spider-Man.
Comic books.
Fighting
This
each other.
is not a comic.
No. This is a whole different.
So you have to come see it.
Well,
It's
yeah.
epic. It's
Tell
epic.
us the 30-second version of what it's about.
It's about forbidden love between a beautiful conquistador's daughter, played by the woman who's sitting to my left, Noellia Hernandez, and she falls in love with a Taino boy, played by a beautiful actor and singer named Andres Quintero. And it takes place in Puerto Rico in the 16th century.
Wow.
Well, it's still the same in Puerto Rico as it was back then.
Pretty
you know?
much. But they travel back in time. It's
Right.
a
They start off today.
We're not sure if it's a true story or a dream.
You ever been to Puerto Rico?
Of
Yes,
course.
we're Puerto
We're
Rican.
Puerto Rican.
Really?
Our grandmother wrote the story, Anita Velez Mitchell.
Oh, you've been in the rainforest then.
Yes, the El Yunque is
You can
gorgeous.
tell it's dripped on me a lot.
and Dr. Judy Kuriansky is the executive producer.
She is executive producer. Hi, Dr. Judy.
Hi, Doctor.
What do you think she's watching this?
Yes,
Is that
she
what-
is. Definitely watching.
And we're going to have her.
Judy and I did Sex Week at Yale.
Oh.
And we were the first ones to do it. We talked about this when she was here. They never stopped. You're going to start getting nervous, and I'm going to throw
'cause
something
she
at
wants
you.
to sing.
Stop. So Judy Kuriansky and I did together the Sex Week at Yale, which was never allowed by the school. And we did it in a forbidden way, and we were asked to not come back until the next year, when we brought all of these vibrators and my daughter.
Oh, my.
Never mind. I shouldn't have started this. Okay, you're going to sing a little song?
Could I
from the
just do
show
a
here?
quick
Come on.
shout out? I want to shout out to Dean Landon, my husband, who helped co-write and orchestrate this beautiful show, doing all the music. We love you.
What
in
music are we
LA.
doing here?
Noellia Hernandez is going to sing a song from the
From the show.
Here we we go. Noellia, you're on.
Here we go. The forest is awakening with beauty, song, and dance. The world was made for lovers and romance. I'm searching for that someone. Where could he be? Natura, bring him to me. Listen to the rhythm as the leaves dance in the wind. The golden sun, the river's hum of love. I search for inspiration in your infinite grace. Natura, show me the way.
So we got to see the show. It's called what?
Yeah,
it's the Temple of Doom.
Yeah,
No, Temple of the Soul.
Temple of the
It's a
Soul.
soulful love
And
story.
it is at the Acorn Theater at Theater Row, 42nd Street in
That's
New
right.
York City.
Off Broadway.
A limited run.
That's
this
right.
We're part of the New York Music Festival.
There you go. July 19th through the
show,
23rd.
This show is a limited run.
It is,
That's what
absolutely.
we're doing here.
Please come.
Well, yeah, thanks a lot.
Will you come?
No.
Why?
Because Judy and I are busy. We're celebrating Sex Week. No, I'll do
Have
it.
fun.
I'll come and see it.
We'd love it.
All right.
Jay, thanks
you
for
so
being here tonight.
Oh, no
You
problem.
almost hosted the show tonight.
I almost did.
Because I don't know what I'm talking about.
Never. All right.
But you guys are great, and it's been a lot of fun hanging out with you. Next week, we are on at 7 o'clock in New York.
7 p.m.
6 p.m. on the regular deal on KABC,
KBC
in
in
LA.
Los Angeles,
And
yes.
look for our big billboard. It's
Yes.
got a big sign on there.
Really?
Yeah.
Excellent.
It
Okay.
says, don't eat anything with animals.
Fine. Maybe it will,
Loretta
maybe it
Swit.
won't. Okay. So
All right,
good
let
night.
a smile be your umbrella. Don't get a mouthful of rain.
All right, see you
Thank
next
you for
week.
having
for
us.
having
Thank
us.
you.
problem. Thank you, guys.
Have some cake.
That is-
WABC.
And the Late Joey Reynolds Show is brought to you by TiedInMedia.com. Tied In Media takes the most successful brands, e-tailers, and millennialpreneurs, a new word, to the next level. Visit TiedInMedia.com. That's TIEDIN
This
Media.com.
is Sunday Night Live with the Late Joey Reynolds Show.
Transportation for the Late Joey Reynolds Show provided by Matt Silver's Ultimate Class and Limousine Transportation Worldwide. 516-935-4444. 516-935-4444.
Are you looking to change your career or start a new career? The real estate industry is in high demand right now, with the average yearly salary for real estate agents at an all-time high. Are you looking to get back into real estate? Well, Leap EDU has the right tools and classes to help you. Leap EDU is a New York State accredited licensing school that offers courses to get your New York real estate license and the training you need to become a successful real estate agent. Leap EDU offers training and continuing education courses for those already in the industry who want to jumpstart their career. Leap EDU also offers immediate job placement for full-time or part-time jobs, so you can start working as soon as you finish your education. Call 516-453-0520 to speak to a career specialist to help you get started with your new career. Or visit leapedu.com. That's leapedu.com.
Today, I will help save a life.
Today, I will make a positive impact on my community.
Today, I will network for a cure.
Today, I will become a go-giver. Together, we will make a difference.
Our mission at pinktide.org is to bring the business community together to support organizations that have a direct impact on our community. Join a growing movement that will contribute $100,000 to local charities each quarter. Visit pinktide.org and join us in making a difference.
Plainview Chocolate Works can design an irresistible custom-branded Belgian chocolate creation, transforming your company logo into a three-dimensional edible marketing message, branding your gift, and impressing clients in a delicious way. Opening in July, the Plainview Chocolate Works retail store, the sweetest spot in town, caters to corporate gifting and private networking events. Grand opening details and highlights from their state-of-the-art chocolate studio event space coming soon. 5% of your purchases are donated back to pinktie.org, supporting the local community. Learn more at pinktie.org/chocolateworks.
On the NJ Diet.